All right, here I am behind the wheel again, on my way up to visit my sister and my nephew. And it's a beautiful day. Here, you want to scan radio stations with me? There's like no good radio stations.
And give them a CD to show the fruit of their efforts. This experience leads to self-confidence. Visit us.
They don't come in very well. Here, let me press scan here. There's the Spanish station.
Stand smoking behind the dining hall.
Oh, there's Garrison Keillor on AM? Huh.
He was freaking out. I'm like, what's wrong?
All right, enough of that. Oh, well, it's a lovely day. I hope all of you out there in YouTube land they're all enjoying yourselves. I saw on Facebook Monk's going to New York. All right, Monk. You didn't say who you're going. Are you traveling with James or on your own or what? I don't know. I didn't pick up on any of that. Yeah, boy, New York is one of the cities I would love to see. I mean, I'm so far apart from where the life I thought I was going to have. Of course, life is full of surprises, and there's some good things that have come out of this. For one, I'm closer to my sister, and I get to see her and my nephew more now. Man, I was thinking about my tools, all the things I left behind. And I'm starting to wonder, did I bring like my watches? I love watches. I'm wearing like a pretty plain everyday watch right now. But man, I just spent a bunch of money putting new batteries in my other watches, and I think I left them behind. I mean, I still haven't fully unpacked and looked through all my stuff, but already I'm wondering, did I bring that with me or that or whatever? I know, it sucks when you move. And even if I shot back down to San Diego and started going through the storage unit, good luck finding anything. Anyway, yeah, my dream trip, my dream vacation. Whoops, I was blocking the view there. I would love to fly to New York, check that out just a little bit, fly to London, and then from London, go see Limerick. Check out London a little bit, and then go to Limerick, Ireland. Then I don't know how far Limerick is from Bobo McGraw, but I would like to stop by and see Bobo McGraw and Thomas. But yeah, it's all dreams. I wonder if I could fit in Scotland. I'd love to go to Scotland too. I'd have to win the lottery to do all that. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's what made me think of New York, because if I were to see New York, I would like it to be a stopping point on my way to go to Great Britain. Anyway, and I guess that's it. Yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about, my nephew is really into Japan. Now, I studied, not really studied, but social studies in elementary school, and I remember quite a bit of it. We studied Japan. I think for like the whole year, the whole session, what would be like 2 semesters. Maybe it was just 1 semester. Of course, grade school isn't divided into semesters. I don't remember any of that. I just remember we had this big book about Japan, and we studied Japan for a while. And I know other people that are just really into Japan. You know, they love the culture, they love the art. They find it very interesting. One guy I worked for was really into it, which is funny. He was Jewish, and so this Jewish guy that was just really into Japan. I kind of get into this. I feel like I want to take pokes at him a little bit, because I do admire the Japanese, but there's things about me, and I came around this when I was learning about Joseph Campbell. Now, I can't say I listened to his lectures on audio tape. Somebody gave me like boy, that must have been like 2 hours of lectures. But I have not actually read any of his books, to be honest. But I've seen him interviewed on a who is it? Great interviewer that used to be on PBS. He still does stuff on the internet, podcasts. Bill somebody. Anyway, I saw him interview Joseph Campbell. Great interview. And the Joseph Campbell thing came out about the myth and mythology, if any of you are familiar with Joseph Campbell. And maybe I'll just skip. I'll continue that. See how my mind jumps around. Wait, I forgot something. I think I just go ahead and don the fez. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here we go again. I'm going to crash. Whoa, there's a car merging in front of me. I know it was here a minute ago. Oh, there it is. God, I almost crushed it. Man, should I call this... Okay, that just gave me I had one name title in mind, but now I just came up with a new one. All right, time to don the fez. The car just went by. Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night shall be called the Uncrushable Fez. Actually, no, it would be the Actually, it is crushable. Greetings, fellow citizens, and welcome to a Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night shall be called the Crushable Fez. The Fez might be crushed, but my spirit is not. Anyway, back to the poking fun at my nephew, a little bit, just little jabs about Japan. And so the Joseph Campbell thing talked about myth and mythology, and one of the interesting things is in Asia, the dragon myth, which says a lot of differences about our culture. The dragons are not considered a bad thing in Asian culture, from what I remember, in China and Japan. I think the Chinese are more into dragons than the Japanese. But it's sort of like a harbinger of good luck. I mean, it's just neutral. It's just an interesting mythological creature. Whereas in the West, it's always about slaying the dragon, and the dragon keeping you from that treasure. So in Western culture, it's more about the quest. And that's why, I don't know if Joseph Campbell actually made this connection, but I'm going to make it, is that in the West, we explore. The Vikings, the English, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, basically Europe, we explore, we go places, we colonize in other places. Now, there's like talk about the Chinese visited the New World or something, and apparently there's some evidence of that. But come on, we know that Columbus visited the New World, aside from all that controversy around Columbus, and the Vikings visited the New World. So right there, and then we have the English colonists that came to the New World. So I mean, that's one of the fundamental differences is the quest. And I don't know enough about Asian mythologies, but I don't know any good stories of quests in Asia. If anybody knows of one, please let me know. And the dragon also keeps you away from that treasure, or the beautiful woman, the damsel. And so the mission is this one individual, one man, single-handedly slays the dragon. And so, to me, I identify with the West. That I see. So the whole connecting to Asia doesn't really, I find it very interesting. India I find interesting, but I'm not about to really study up on it. I like movies and things and references to India. Excuse me. But here I am talking about Japan, India, and I'm always going to talk more about Japan. Not a big fan of anime, but Scott Brooks, Barfly, did coax me into watching something called Bebop Cowboy, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. Now, my nephew's been kind of like saying, "Oh, you should watch this in anime," but I'm not connecting with it. And I guess maybe because it's too Japanese. I did watch, I think it was called Black Butler on Netflix, and I watched the whole series of that. But a lot of it just didn't make any sense. The stories are not like linear, you know, and they're just, I don't get it. I mean, so much of it seems unconnected, and things are happening that I just don't understand. One of the things is like there's the main butler, the black butler, then there's this other short little guy, and it all takes place in England, which I guess kind of kept me interested. But it's, you know, it's Japanese, the whole writing and perspective and everything. But for whatever reason, they decided to make this story take place in England. I don't know. But there's this other little short, cute-looking butler. But then for no reason, and they'll go to him and he'll like spout some sort of knowledge or wisdom, and it doesn't seem connected to anything. And then other times, the little butler transforms into this full-size butler who's not cute, who's like a regular butler. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. I don't get it. So anyway, one of the things that's kind of came up is, you know how I'm into metal, and I had an interest in you know, I have blacksmithing tools. I even have a small forge back in San Diego. But I played around with blacksmithing, and it was my dream someday to forge a really nice knife or dagger, and then eventually make a sword. Yeah, lofty dreams there. So I always get into this thing like, and I looked it up on the internet, and there's just endless speculation on, would a samurai swordsman be able to, between a knight in armor and a broadsword and a samurai sword, samurai wielding a sword, who would win? Well, you know me. I'm totally like, one good shot with that broadsword and that samurai is down. Even though the samurai, and I learned this later, I assumed by looking at the samurai armor that there's actually metal in there, but it just doesn't look it, because I guess they paint it black or something. I always thought it was like leather or something else. So the samurai armor does offer some protection, but it's made different than the English armor or European armor. But that sword, to me, unless he made a good stabbing motion and got between the chinks in the armor, I just don't see the samurai sword, the katana, having enough weight to do any real damage by striking the armor directly. Whereas the broadsword was heavy enough, but they're not as heavy as people think. You know, people in their minds, they imagine it's like something like 40 pounds or something. It's nowhere near that. You know, you could swing a broadsword with, I could, with one arm. Of course, probably not effectively, but, you know, as skinny as I am. But with two. No, anyway, I'm not a warrior. Anyway, that's just one of those things that ponder, and there's pluses and minuses on both sides. One thing was that, and there's so many different factors. What kind of field are they fighting in? You know, all these different things. Somebody pointed out that the samurai armor is tied together by like cords, and I guess the other parts, if they were fighting in the rain or where it was wet, the samurai armor would absorb the water and become much heavier, so would create a distinct disadvantage for the samurai warrior. Anyway, I was just sort of joshing around with my nephew about that. I've been thinking about, I don't know, if I come into extra, anyway, that's a different thing. I mean, it won't happen. I kind of wonder to myself, what would happen if I bought him a sword? I bet he would really like it, a samurai sword. A cheap one, not a real one. You know, like a novelty one. I don't think my sister would like that. I think I should check with her first. But not that I can spend any money on anything like that right now. Man, it's lucky I can pay rent, you know, as cheap as the rent is. And that's just barely happening. So that was that. That was the whole Japan Western thing that I've been thinking about. Now I don't know what got into me last time I made a Fez. I started talking about stuff that later I go, man, why did I talk about that? And one of the things was about the female hitchhikers. Let me say that when I get into that manic mode, that high, I don't go looking for trouble. It's just, it seems like things magically happen. You know, I mean, weird, like I'll run into some stranger and I'll start talking to that stranger, and one thing would lead to another. You know, I might end up going someplace I've never been before. It's hard. It almost feels kind of magical, you know, like I'm in touch with some, like writing some sort of cosmic pathway or something. I don't know how to put it, but it's not good. Whoop, camera slipped. Anyway, I should wind this up. I'm getting close to my destination. That Clive and Bundy thing was pretty intriguing to me. And just real quick is just how gullible some American people are, where this guy, I noticed one of the things, this guy is like a showman. I watched some video where he's on a horse, carrying the American flag, wearing a cowboy hat, and that's supposed to be like wow, people think like John Wayne, America, patriotism. And I was reading a little interview with the guy that wrote Lonesome Dove. He wrote a bunch of, he also wrote Brokeback Mountain. He wrote about cowboys. He grew up, his father was a cattleman. And so he grew up during that whole cowboy era, and he knows the real cowboys. And he says, he tries to, with his novels, dispel the myths around cowboys. And so is the real cowboy a good representation of of America? No. And yet that's the symbol that everybody looks to. So, you know, and then this man is supposed to be some kind of patriot, but he doesn't want to pay his taxes. He doesn't want to pay his fair share. The other surrounding ranchers kind of consider him a freeloader, you know, where they're doing their thing. Nobody likes to pay taxes. Nobody likes to pay his fees, but the rest of them are doing it. And this guy thinks that he doesn't have to because he's not he doesn't recognize the U.S. government. Now, what does that say to the soldiers that enlist and go fight our wars? Are what? They're not patriots? They're just fools? I mean, nobody on the right makes this connection. They just don't. They're just simplistic. They see everything in black and white, and they just merely see like the image of this rugged individual wearing a cowboy hat, waving the American flag, standing up against, you know, the armed militia from this, you know, one man standing alone, the individual. Of course, that's part of the Western mythology, isn't it? And it's funny how the left used to be so like, don't trust the government, anti-government, you know, the CIA, everybody's watching us, we're on, you know, the CIA's list and everything. And now it's gone the full opposite, where both sides, right and left, are not happy with the NSA and not all the spying, but to be truly like an armed insurrection against the government, that's a right-wing thing. Look at the, the guy that blew up that building in, what is it, Omaha? God, I can't remember his name. They put him to death. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I guess back in the day, back in the 60s and the early 70s, we had the Black Panthers, which is a leftist movement. We also had the Weathermen. But they weren't so much about, I think when they blew up buildings, they tried to make sure the buildings were empty. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there were casualties, but nowhere near the kind of casualties when the extreme right decides to take up arms. They really do it. And they really go for it. The Weathermen had a lot of talk about mass killing, but maybe the left is just not organized enough, huh? The left in this country. Anyway, Clive and Bundy and Sean Hannity for fucking propping that guy up so much and giving him so much network time. All right, I'm getting close to where I need to stop this. Anyway, everybody have a great week. I do have my coffee this time. So, hey, thank you for watching Crushable Fez. Everybody have a great week. Cheers.